everybody, Arnold Wolfman here with Gear It First, and I have a 2016 Silverado. You already know what time it is. Now, in all seriousness, out of all the upgrades that I've done to the truck, I haven't really done anything much with the engine yet. Part of the reason for that is because, well, I didn't really need it to. I'm very happy with the engine performance, and in all reality, I don't need much from it. So I could definitely stand for a little bit better mileage, especially after putting bigger tires and raising up the truck a little bit. So for this, cold air intake is the best bet. I did choose, there's a lot of different options, and JC's Customs over in Winter Haven got me set up with the S&B. So let's go over that real quick. You're gonna spend quite some time researching it. Don't just buy the very first thing you see. So I was gonna go with a different brand, and well, after all things considered, this is the best bang for the buck. So there's a few things here that we have to go over. We want to lay them out, and hopefully I can beat these thunderstorms that are about to come by. I completely forgot that, yeah, I need a 10mm wrench, and guess what I don't currently have on me? So I need to go grab my wrench set and find my 10mm. That's not even a joke. I can't find it. So the very first thing that you want to do is you do want to disconnect the battery. It's not even an issue of zapping yourself, but if you don't do it, when you're done with everything, your CEL light is going to be on. That's your check engine light. We certainly want to avoid that because that's just a hassle I don't want to have to deal with. So we've already done that, and now we're going to go ahead and remove the actual sensor, which is right here. We're going to need a little Torx bit for that. So let's see what we've got. Awesome. This guy slides right out very carefully, and you see this little part that comes all the way out. Just gonna take that out. Okay, so now that we've done that, we take this part out right here. I'm gonna try to do this where you guys can kind of see what's going on. We're gonna loosen up the entire hose. All right, and then we have this hose clamp right at the throttle body that we're gonna need to take out too. On each side, you'll see this right here. It's the resonator box, and there are those two hoses right there. We're gonna take those hoses out. There's a little gray clamp, it just lifts up, and both sides will slide right off. Now we're gonna take this guy right here, push down, and there it is. For some reason, this one seems to be upside down because it's supposed to be where you push from the bottom, but whatever, that was pretty easy. So the throttle body is gonna be right here. So the hose clamp is right there. We're just gonna loosen that up. We've got this all loosened up, and there we go. All right, while we're over here, let's go ahead and take out the two hoses as far as the actual crankcase hose. Those crankcase hoses come off pretty much in the same manner. You're gonna take that little gray part and you're gonna push up on it. So let's see here. There's a little gray right here. Slides right out. Now we want to have enough room that we can actually take out the air filter assembly and put in the aftermarket assembly. So we need to remove the top bolt from the front crossbar. That is our favorite 10mm socket. So let's go ahead and grab this guy right here. We now need access to remove everything off, or to remove this crossbar. So we're going to remove these little plastic push pins. You can do this with a screwdriver. I prefer to use a trim panel remover. All right. It says, for craps and giggles, to remove the 4 of them. You really don't need to, but why the heck not? See, slides right off. Let's take that guy out. The mass airflow sensor wire has a clip that just goes down to the actual box and connects it to it. We're just gonna go ahead and pop that out, and you could use pliers to take it out, but these damn little pieces of plastic break easily. So, panel remover it is. And I know you can't see, so I apologize for that, but I'll show you later what it looks like. Super easy. It's basically just this little plastic piece right here. Looks like a zip tie, and it's got the trim panel mount on the bottom there, and it just clips onto this hose. So we've got that. I'm gonna set that off to the side. I'll just keep it on top of the hoses here. Now, we can say good riddance to this. We're literally just gonna take it. It's gonna slide right out. So when you slide it out, be very careful. You wanna make sure you don't accidentally bend or damage the hoses. So you just wanna be careful on the way out. You see what's catching on right here? You can see where it kind of wipes some of that dust off. You just wanna be careful you don't bend anything. Now we need to take this mounting plate off. Now we're gonna remove those 4 bolts from the factory mounting plate. So that all has to come out. So there's bolt number 1. And then we've got 2 more right here that we're gonna go ahead and take out. There it goes. This is the point now where we need to figure out if we needed the box to be plugged or not. So it comes to this plug right here, and it goes to the bottom where the filter usually goes. And the reason is because in most areas, at least here in the US especially, you know, you've got your box sitting in nice and pretty, and you can have cold air come in from the inside here, or from the side here, and from the bottom. But here in Florida, where God hates us, another hot state, you don't want any additional hot air coming in. So 3 months during the, you know, when it gets hot, you leave this in. I did talk to Kyle over at JC's, and he said, you know, for the most part, just go ahead and leave it on. It doesn't get that cold here enough where you're gonna see much of a difference. So I'm gonna go with the experts on this one. And I also called SMB, and they quickly were able to answer my question and everything else. So we'll leave it on. So this guy just kind of sits in here. All right. You know, I'm really surprised they just didn't do like a little flip thing, right? That would just slide out. So that way you could just open this up. And SMB, if you're watching this, make this a little different. Even you can even do it deeper. You can probably do it from what I saw, about maybe 1/4 inch deeper. And then have it where it just slides out and slides in. That way it'd be really great for those of us that do want both options. All right, so we've got this in. Now we need to get the little casket, or the gasket, put it around, and we're gonna go and slide that piece in. If you have HID headlights, you're gonna have to change your brackets around and such, or move your bracket for the mount, because the HIDs stick out a little bit. Mine should be good. Got our seal. Lock that in. Beautiful. Now we're gonna just slide this on top. And now we're gonna just take these guys right here and put them right back where the other ones were. You kind of have to push this in. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm pushing this forward to make a nice tight connection. Let's bring this down to nothing. Now we're gonna start the air filter. All right, that thing is huge, by the way. It's massive. The filter tabs are gonna go through the side of the box. The filter is gonna lock into place once these tabs are secured. Once that's done, we're gonna take the larger side of the coupler into this air tube, but let's go ahead and do this part real quick. Now this came with this part here, so let me figure this out. I'm guessing this guy just goes in, and by tabs, they pretty much mean like the gasket snaps in, the seal. So it's really much easier to install by just pushing on here, push and then pull on the inside so you can feel everything in. And then I'm just gonna feel around, make sure the whole piece is in there. Awesome. All right, so that takes care of that. Now let's get the hose. You've got these couplers right here, and there's different ones depending on the engine that you have. All right, so make sure you get the right one. Here's the hose, and this is the side that goes right here. You can see the mount for the MAF sensor. This is the part that's gonna go into our throttle body. So essentially it's gonna go like this, with this part going into the throttle body. So we're just gonna go ahead and slide this part over, the larger part. We're gonna get the larger of these guys right here. Now, if you get confused, like I said, the instructions are pretty detailed to the point that you could do this without this video, but I appreciate you watching. However, keep this with you. It's this basic little parts diagram. Shows you how everything should ultimately be laid out. So now, we've got this part here. We know that's gonna sit on top. So that should be pretty easy, but let's finish preparing the actual tube. So now that we've done that, we're gonna use the provided hardware to install the MAF plate, that's a mass airflow sensor, and the gasket onto the air tube. Okay, so now we're gonna put our plate on top. So we're gonna have our little gasket right here. We're gonna get the first screw. It's in the bag that says 1307, at least for this kit. I'm gonna hand tighten that down for a second. And for these, don't use a drill. For the love of God, do not use a drill or electric screwdriver. You don't want to over torque it and crack something. So we've got the sensor put in. Make sure you put it in the right way. While you're doing this, if it's been a while since you've change your air filter, because maybe you're just a filthy beast, now's a good chance or time to also make sure your mass airflow sensor is clean. There it is. Our entire assembly for that is complete. We are now going to take the hose clamp, and we're going to slide that loosely over the air filter. We're going to push the intake tube into the filter, and then slide the intake tube and coupler into the throttle body. That's just a really fancy way of saying we're gonna install this thing. So now we're gonna slide, I'm trying to do this where you guys can see. So now this guy's gonna slide in here. Now we've got this guy in. Nice and secure. Beautiful. We're gonna take our crankcase hoses, and essentially it's gonna slide in. The other one's gonna go right here, and then same thing from that side to the other. I will be honest and tell you that was a little hasty when installing the box. They do provide hardware. I didn't use it because this is pretty much a brand new truck, and I used the original hardware and it fits just fine. However, there is also an Allen wrench with different torque sizes in there. Not everybody happens to have a torque screw with them. I do, because I've taken apart multiple things. Not all of it gets put back together, but it is pretty cool. At least they provided that part. So we're gonna go ahead and get these hose guys in, these clamps, and we're gonna go to the crankcase and so forth. Only thing that I don't like is, I actually like the hoses that it came with a little bit better than these type, but so now that we have everything installed, it's time to do the what's it called? The glass part. So it's basically plexi, and you'll sit there and clean it all off from the, what's it called, or peel the little protective stuff off. Okay, and then you have this cover. We're gonna put this cover around. We're gonna go and put this guy on, and as I said before, you are going to 100% use the hand screwdriver. Do not use an electric drill. That's just asking for a problem down the road when you crack the damn thing. Also, the filter is already pre-lubed, so you won't have to worry about that. This is a washable filter, and I believe it says not to use an aerosol type. So, notice that I'm not tightening these things up all the way. I'm only doing them part way. Simple reason being I want to make sure this seats properly. Also, looks like I'm missing a washer, one of the rubber washers. They did not include that. Okay. I guess this guy's is going to go in without a washer. I'm just not going to tighten this one too much. That's freaking awesome. I just checked to make sure I didn't drop it. So that's all right, I can call them. And I'm sure they'll ship another one out. Or I can just go to Lowe's and pick up another one, really, but. And that's it. So now all I gotta do is put this beat bar back on. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go ahead and rev it up a bit. See, I notice a difference between stock and aftermarket. No major difference, really. It does have a nicer bit of a lower rumble, but I'm not sure if that's maybe because the hood is open or not. But to me, I didn't buy this because I wanted my engine to sound louder. I wanted it because I wanted a little bit better performance. And most importantly, I wanted to see if I could increase my gas mileage. Now, some of you may say, well, you know, if you bought a truck, you're not really concerned with gas mileage. No, but every little bit helps. So that's it, pretty easy. I would say if I wasn't doing this video and talking and having to dig through, you know, to find a 10mm socket, this job was right under about an hour. I can tell you that it took about an hour and 45 minutes. 45 minutes of that is to find that damn 10mm socket. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Arnaldo Wolfman of Gear It First. If you want to see more truck videos, mostly about the Silverado 1500, because that's what I have, leave a comment down below, or, you know, I'm just car videos in general. I was actually going to do one on doing a sound system, so I figure, hey, if you want to see more on that, leave the comments below, click the subscribe button, and hit that thumbs button. Thanks so much for watching. Good night, and God bless. Well, golly gee willikers, you can definitely hear a much lower guttural sound. I'm going to turn the AC off in just a second so you can hear it. But, yeah, there's definitely lower noise. Here you go, ready? How did you hear the vroom? Now, I'm not pedaling to the metal or anything like that. I'm just so you can hear it. It's got that whoom noise. Yeah, you can definitely hear it there. That's without even having to hit the throttle hard or anything. Most importantly, no check engine light. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Gear It First, honest reviews, incredible gig logs, lots of tips and tricks, and more tutorials than any other YouTube channel. I guarantee it, or your money back.